How does one become a Wendy boy, or how are they brought forward, you might ask?
How are they brought forward, Curator Kara?
Okay, so in countless dark tales, the Wendy boy begins as a human driven by unbearable hunger or depression who succumbs to the unspeakable act of cannibalism and is forever transformed. So, according to some legends, a malevolent spirit can possess a human, twisting their soul and driving them to cannibalism, thus birthing the Wendigo within. Old tales whisper of sorcerers who, through a dark curse, could turn a person into a Wendy boy or a creature of hunger and shadow doomed to wander the wilderness forever. So, Cliff Notes version, you cannibalism, like something happens, like a tragic event, you resort to cannibalism, you turn, or possession, you were possessed by one to be one, or a sorcerer cursed you.
I love that your footnotes were just as long as the original description. But it seems at least complex. 2 out of the 3, it seems like something else turned to you, which takes a little bit of the responsibility off. So
I don't know. What would be your favor? Which one?
Well, I'm not going to just turn it into a cannibal, so I feel like I'd have to be turned. But if I had to choose, I would just choose to not become one.
Right. All right. So the Wendy boy is often viewed as a haunting symbol of deep trauma, loss, and the dire consequences of desperation. Its legends sometimes intertwined with the brutal legacy of settler violence against indigenous people.
Right.
So, like a lot of folklore, there's a deeper meaning within the legend. Real life problems are like insatiable greed, selfishness, gluttony, and violence are what the Wendigo represents. So for our little Wendy boy, most sightings are noted between the 1800s and the 1920s.
Okay.
As the legend spread, so did blame for a lot of the murder and the disappearances in tribes, which we get that. We get that with like witch trials and things like that.
You know, it's kind of reminded me, and I'm so sorry, this will be a super quick side note,
No,
but
you're
like
good.
the way they come about and how it's in the lore and stuff, I wonder if, because you know we've pretty much debunked the Dybbuk box, if the Dybbuk box takes from this lore of the Dybbuk is a demon that, you know, came from somebody who is terrible in real life.
Yeah. What I will say, and actually this is a really good place for me to just put this because I didn't actually write it in. Native American culture, beliefs, folklore, all this stuff is so very serious to them. So a lot of people actually frown upon people that are not part of that culture to actually talk about this type of stuff. So I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to upset anybody. Like, that's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to spread the knowledge between the difference of these two things because they are very different. So I just want to put that out there. There was disclaimers on most of my research.
All right. Well, we appreciate that.
Okay. So during the harsh winter of 1878 and 79, a season marked by starvation and suffering along the Cree, Swift Runner fell under the grip of what came to be known as Wendigo psychosis.
Oh.
So this is actually like...
That was like a real diagnosis.
Yeah, and actually, I think it's still used in certain like things because it's basically a condition described by anthropologists as involving delusions and an uncontrollable urge toward cannibalism.
Could you imagine just an uncontrollable urge for cannibalism? I couldn't.
Cannibalism is so fascinating to me. We talked about this in our cannibal episode. It's so fascinating to me because I just don't have an urge to eat a human. But then it's very freaking weird that we have urges to eat like a cow. I think
that is true. Yeah.
I think you and Lauren talked about this in depth.
Oh yeah, we did.
Shout out Lauren. All right. So in its thaw, he murdered his wife and children, consuming their flesh. He was eventually captured, put in jail, and in December of 1879, I mean, I guess good. So this
Probably
is
for the
just
best.
one example of somebody claiming to be overtaken by a Wendigo and then it being like the diagnosis. Again,
Okay.
I am not saying that they're not real because I 100% believe in them. It's just that things like this spread, again, like the witch trials. I believe in witches. I believe in magic. Did I think that everybody was a witch and they deserve to die? Fuck no. But, you know, things that don't go their way, they accuse people of all kinds of things. Or if you did something horrific, you might blame it on something else.
Right. Absolutely. The fall
So,
guy.
yeah.